Hello, science enthusiasts! Welcome back to Concepts in Hand, the channel where we unravel the mysteries of physics. Today, we are journeying into the electrifying realm of electrostatics. If you've ever rubbed a balloon on your hair and stuck it to a wall, or felt a shock when you touched a metal doorknob, you've experienced electrostatics in action. But what exactly is electrostatics? Electrostatics is a fascinating branch of physics that deals with the study and behavior of stationary or slow-moving electric charges. These charges can be either positive or negative, and it's their interaction that results in the electric forces and fields that surround us. You see, every object around us, including ourselves, are made up of these tiny charges. Consider an atom, the smallest unit of matter. It's composed of a nucleus, which contains positively charged protons and uncharged neutrons, and is surrounded by negatively charged electrons. When the number of protons and electrons in an atom is equal, the atom is neutral. But when an atom gains or loses electrons, it becomes charged, resulting in the creation of an ion. Now, when two objects come in contact, like when you rub a balloon against your hair, electrons may transfer from one object to the other. This can leave one object with a surplus of negative charge and the other with a deficit, creating a positive charge. And voila, you've just witnessed the magic of electrostatics. But how do these charges interact? Well, like charges repel each other, while unlike charges attract each other. This principle is the foundation of many of the technological innovations we enjoy today, from the humble static cling that helps your socks stick together in the dryer, to the complex workings of the computers and smartphones we can't seem to live without. Electrostatics is a vast and intriguing field, with concepts that might seem abstract at first, but when you start to see how they apply to the world around you, they become less intimidating and more exciting. Now that we've got the basics down, let's dive into the first key concept: quantization of charges. It sounds complex, but I promise to break it down for you. The concept of quantization is a fundamental principle in the world of electrostatics. But what does it mean? Simply put, it tells us that charge, in its most basic form, comes in discrete or quantized units. Imagine a building made of bricks. You can't have half a brick or a third of a brick. The smallest unit you can have is one whole brick. Much like bricks in a building, charges are built up from these discrete units, which we call elementary charges. Now let's bring this concept to life. Picture an atom. At the core, you have protons, positively charged particles. Circling around the nucleus, you have electrons, negatively charged particles. Each proton and electron carries a charge equal to one elementary charge. But remember, the charge on a proton is positive, and the charge on an electron is negative. The total charge of an object, therefore, is simply the sum of these elementary charges. If an object has more protons than electrons, it's positively charged. If it has more electrons than protons, it's negatively charged. But here's the catch. You can't have half an elementary charge, just like you can't have half a brick. This is the essence of quantization. Charges are always a whole number multiple of the elementary charge. This fact might seem trivial, but it has profound implications. It explains why some objects get charged and others don't. It's the reason why static electricity gives you a shock. It even forms the basis of how current flows through a wire, a concept that powers our entire world. So you see, understanding quantization of charges is not just about learning a new term. It's about perceiving the world around us in a whole new light. This concept plays a crucial role in understanding the behavior of electric charges. Now, let's move on to our next fundamental principle: conservation of charges. Imagine a party where there are an equal number of guests and chairs. No matter how they move around, the number of chairs remains the same. This is a bit like the principle of conservation of charges. In any closed system, the total amount of electric charge remains constant. No matter how the charges are distributed or how they interact, their total sum doesn't change. It's like the universe's way of maintaining a perfect balance. But let's not just talk about it, let's see it in action. Picture a balloon and some tiny paper bits. When you rub the balloon against your hair, it becomes negatively charged. Now bring this charged balloon close to the paper bits. What do you see? The bits leap up to the balloon. What's happening here is that the balloon is inducing a positive charge on the paper bits and they're attracted to the balloon's negative charge. but the total charge before and after the interaction remains the same. The charges have merely moved around, but none have been lost or created. Here's another example. Think about a thunderstorm. You've got a cloud filled with millions of tiny water droplets and ice particles, all colliding with each other. These collisions generate static charges. The negatively charged particles gather at the bottom of the cloud, creating an imbalance with the positively charged ground. This imbalance is corrected by a lightning bolt, a massive discharge of electricity. It's a spectacular display of the conservation of charges. The total charge before and after the lightning strike remains the same. The charges have just redistributed themselves. So every time you see a lightning bolt or feel the static shock when you touch a doorknob, remember the principle of conservation of charges. It's not just a theoretical concept, it's a fundamental law that governs the interactions of charges in our universe. And remember, no matter how the charges dance around, the total number of chairs in the party remains the same. It's a fundamental law of electrostatics. Let's bridge the gap between theory and reality with some fascinating real-life examples. Now, you might be wondering, where do we see quantization of charges in our everyday lives? Well, let's take a look at electric current in wires. Electric current is all about the movement of electrons, but it's not a free-for-all. Electrons with their negative charge exist in discrete units. They move from atom to atom in the wire, creating a flow of charge. This flow, my friends, is what we call electric current. In essence, it is the quantized movement of charges that allows us to turn on our lights, charge our phones, and power our homes. Imagine every time you flip a switch, you're witnessing the principles of quantization of charges in action. The tiny quantized charges are working their magic, lighting up your world. Now, let's shift gears and talk about the conservation of charges. Nature itself abides by the laws of conservation. Lightning during thunderstorms is a spectacular display of charges being conserved and released with a bang. Electrostatics isn't just a topic in your textbooks. It's a dynamic force shaping the world around us. Today, we've embarked on an electrifying journey, exploring the core principles of electrostatics, quantization and conservation of charges. We've seen how these two principles underpin so much of the world around us, from the flow of electric current in wires to the dramatic display of lightning in a thunderstorm. The realm of electrostatics isn't confined to textbooks or classrooms. It's a vibrant part of our daily lives. Understanding it not only aids us in acing our exams, but also in appreciating the fascinating workings of the universe. So let's keep fueling our curiosity, asking questions, and exploring the enigmatic world of physics. If you enjoyed unraveling the secrets of electrostatics with us, don't forget to hit the like button, share with your friends, and subscribe for more electrifying content. Until next time, keep those concepts in hand.